Sure, we'll pay you back for the missing cash. Every last penny. A bit of context. About 20 years ago, after finishing university, I moved back home with my parents while figuring out what I wanted to do next. My hometown is a tourist seaside town in the UK, which, especially back then, was so destroying in the winter, but quite a fun place to be in the summer. Lots of pubs and clubs and very buzzy at weekend and stag do's and do's. I have no idea what is a stag do's and a hen do's. Okay. Okay. Although I was living rent-free at the time, I still needed income while I looked for a career. So I got a job as a bartender in the biggest pub/nightclub in town. It was quite a cheesy venue, but it was right in the center of town, so always busy back then, especially on Saturday night. Although I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, it was a fun job which wasn't too challenging and a great place to work as a 21 years old enjoying my first summer with zero responsibility. Okay, I think it's hold to still be a 21 years old with zero responsibility, but you do you. The work was quite seasonal to generally staff, so generally staff would only stay for a few months until the end of the summer, then move on. But there's 2-3 supervisors and assistant manager who had worked there longer. They were usually in their late 20s. One was a girl, we'll call her Susie, mainly because I can't actually remember her real name now. Yay! Mantis is officially DNG? Hey, that's true! So I guess the family's isn't DNG like your family name? So either you plan on marrying or now Mantis your brother? Sounds weird. It sounds weird. The wedding is in 30 minutes. Wonderful. You're gonna do that while playing like Susie plays Polly horse. Close yes, uncle. Okay. Susie was generally okay to work with, but she was having a bad day. She could be a bully and a total witch. I got the impression that I had a bit of a chip on her shoulder. That she had a bit of a chip on her shoulder. She was still working there in her late 20s. Watching those younger than her move to other things, she would often talk about going on courses, become a qualified cocktail bartender or something, but it never happened. And she appeared to spend a lot of time partying. She would often turn up to work and with a stinking hangover, wonderful, and then take it out on the rest of the worker. But she was desperate to try to impress management. Bad start. Honestly, that's someone with a buttload of little problem. Anyway, one Saturday night, in the middle of the summer, and the place is rammed. This was before the age of smartphones, Netflix, so in a town like that, there's nothing else to do but go out and get wasted. That sounds like Guess PC for you. There's 3 big bars across the floor of this place, and every bar was at least 4 deep when we were busy, which was usually between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. That makes sense. Susie was on the duty assistant manager, so responsible for the whole place and crucially cashing up at the end of the night. This was the early O's, I guess. Do we say that? The early year of the millennium. So although we did accept cards, 95% of the people paid by cash as there was no contactless payment yet. It was noisy, dark, with incredibly drunk people everywhere, and you had to work at a frantic pace to keep up. Hundreds of euro in cash would go through the tills every night, and you barely had time to think what you were doing. Finally, at the end of the night, and we get the last drunk patrons out of the TD of the TD of the bars. Okay, they clean the place. Once all the bar, this is a lot of work to set up the thing. Once done, all the bar and security staff then congregate and in the lower bar for a quick drink to relax before heading home, while Susie is busy cashing up, counting the cash from the tills, and making sure it's tallied with the electronic till records. I think this was the first time she had been trusted with this job on a busy Friday or Saturday night. Okay, she's basically like the one working on the side. And welcome in, Lou. We have the first, but you're the one using it. It's wonderful. Suddenly, she came storming out of the manager's office and screamed, "Right, the tills are 20 euro, about $30 down. I'm going out for a cigarette, and when I come back, I expect that missing money to be on the desk. I don't care where it comes from, just do it." Oh god. That's a good start. I can't remember the exact amount, but it was around that. Basically, in all the commission of the evening, one or more of the bar staff had forgotten to take cash for an order. That happens, by the way. Or taking the wrong amount, or given too much change back. Yeah, it's a mistake. Especially $20 when you're working in the service industry, it's an honest mistake. You just like didn't count well one time. I'd worked several weekends before this incident, and the manager had never worried about missing money. It was probably just a mistake, and it was a small amount considering how much we take through the night. It happens. However, I think because Susie wanted to make a good impression with management, she didn't want to report that there was money missing. Even though this was a small amount. That's so long as a story every time. We all look at each other trying not to laugh. I think we all kind of knew she couldn't do this. At least in the UK, an employer can't just force an employee to pay for a genuine mistake out of their own pocket. But at the same time, we all knew Susie could make our next shift very uncomfortable if we didn't play ball, cleaning the toilet, etc. Okay, that's fine. So we decided to make up the difference ourselves between the dozen or so bar staff. Well, sort of. That's going to be all change. Over the next 10 minutes, all the staff spread out through the bar and collected as many random coins we could find. Coins on the floor dropped by drunkard, and now swimming in pools of beer, diluted sweat, and God know what else. Coins found in the okay, like in very buzzy bar, for those who don't know it, there's a lot of trash all over the place. Basically, you end up your night and there's nothing to do. You just have to like go and basically scratch everything and prepare for the next night. It's absurd. This is why those are not open during the day. They don't have this opportunity to do so. So covered in hair and other fluff, which had probably been there for several years. Ah, disgusting. One of my friends stopped short of fishing a 10p out of a urinal, but anything else was fair game. Some of the staff raided their lockers and pocket for small random coins, but mostly it was cash we found in the aftermath of a sticky, sweaty Saturday night club. Suffice to say, the large mound of coin, you call that a mound at that point, we found was pretty disgusting, but it was there. Every last penny, the pile was such, which was mostly 1 piece, 2 piece, 5 piece, was, why the hell would you need 2 piece? Was unceremoniously dumped on the manager's desk, just as Susie had instructed, and we all went back to finishing our drink. I was a little disappointed when Susie returned and didn't explode with rage, but to her credit, she just thanked us and added the filthy mound to the other cash. And this is still money, you know? So this Reddit, Kevin, is all about people that are just accepting to do what their boss do, but in a way that the boss was sometimes not expecting it, or like that it goes against the boss. So you just listen to exactly what they say, you take it at heart, and you're like, I'm gonna do that, but then I'm gonna let you live with the consequences. This is malicious compliance. So basically, that was a very long story to say. Manager was pissed, asked us to pay for all the money that was missing in the cashier, and instead of like just giving her the cash, they went and they were just like scratching all the pennies that they could find all around the place. It's a big bar on a Saturday night, so the pile of pennies they found her were absolutely disgusting, and they found for about 20 to 30 about 20 euro of money to just dump as a filthy mound onto the bureau of the manager. Yeah, you stayed on a few more weeks after that until Christmas. After Christmas, when I got a normal 9-5 office job, but Susie never bothered us about missing cash again. Yeah, you just do that once. How much like filthy cash you could have anyway? But like on a buzzy night in a 3-bar, like a three bar line bar, you cannot make no mistake and you cannot have a perfect number. For those who didn't know it, like, bar owners are making a pretty decent profit on the alcohol they serve. So like that $20 is way more than well covered on a buzzy night for the owner of the place. But since she wanted to go a little bit over the hedge and make sure that everything would work, that little mistake of $20 was big enough for her to just be a witch with her people and to have to live with the consequences.